Radio. Turn it up.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been moved into the level 4 very high level of COVID-19 category on the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC's regularly updated list of travel advisories. The CDC stated that people should avoid traveling to locations designated with a Level 4 notice saying anyone who must travel should be fully vaccinated first. Nearly 90 destinations are now listed as Level 4. All the destinations that moved to Level 4 this week were previously listed as Level 3 COVID-19 high. The Level 3 category applies to destinations that have had between 100 and 500 cases per 100,000 residents in the past 28 days. In its broader travel guidance, the CDC has recommended avoiding all international travel until being fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated travelers are less likely to get and spread COVID-19. However, international travel poses additional risks, and even fully vaccinated travelers might be at increased risk for getting and possibly spreading some COVID-19 variants, the agency said. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is on the verge of having one of the best blue economy industries in the Southern Caribbean. This is according to the Minister for Agriculture, the Honorable Simplota Caesar, who made that statement while discussing the future of the fishing industry. We hear more from Minister Caesar.
So I want to say, especially to the young people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the blue economy, whether it's sea moss production, whether it's lobster, whether it's conch, snappers, whether you're going to go into the long liners, the tuna boats, that we are going to structure with the right public-private partnerships throughout the value chain, from extraction to export, the systems, so that we can build a credible industry. And I am telling you this, Kingsley, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are on the verge of really having, in the Southern Caribbean, one of the best blue economy industries right now. And you see that blue building there at California? Yes. That building alone has requested, by way of an agreement, some $20 million worth of marine products every year from St. Vincent.
That was the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Simplota Caesar, speaking on WEFM's Wake Up Morning program. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is leading in Virgin Atlantic ticket sales for the second half of October and December. This is according to Mr. Glenn Beach, Chief Executive Officer of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, during a call to WEFM's Wake Up Morning program. We hear more from Mr. Beach.
I can tell you because this obviously is going to be the second half of October, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has sold best for the Caribbean for them for the second half of October, and so far for December we're leading in sales in terms of that also. I don't have the numbers for November yet, but yeah, for October and December so far so good.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, Mr. Glenn Beach. On to news in the region. First Caribbean International Bank Limited has announced that its wholly owned subsidiary, FCIB Barbados, has agreed to sell its banking assets in St. Vincent, Grenada, Dominica, and St. Kitts to the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Limited, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, National Bank of Dominica Limited, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank Limited. Its wholly owned subsidiary, FCIB Cayman, has agreed to sell its banking assets in Aruba to Aruba Bank NV. The transactions are all subject to regulatory approval, including from the Central Bank of Barbados, and are expected to be finalized in the coming months. In Aruba, the purchaser is Aruba Bank, the largest commercial bank on the island. That transaction is subject to regulatory approval by the Central Bank of Aruba, CBA. Managing Director of the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Limited, Mr. Derry Williams, said that this acquisition represents a significant development in the evolution of the banking system of the ECCU. The Jamaican government has set aside $50 million in the first supplementary estimates of expenditure to reward the country's Olympians. In making the announcement in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Jamaica's Finance and the Public Service Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said the athletes have made the country very proud. The minister also stated that earnings for a majority of the athletes had dried up due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which saw the Tokyo Olympics that was due to be held in 2020 being postponed by a year. Clark noted that even on the Diamond League circuit, the prize money for winning the final was US $10,000, which was significantly higher in previous years. He highlighted that Elaine Thompson-Herah, the second fastest woman in history, received $10,000 for winning the Diamond League final. And finally, on the international scene, vulnerable children and elderly people in North Korea are at risk of starvation, a UN expert has said. The UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the country blamed international sanctions and the COVID blockade for worsening food shortages. As a result, North Koreans are struggling daily to live a life of dignity, Thomas Ogier Quintana said. He called for the sanctions imposed over North Korea's nuclear programs to be lifted to prevent a crisis. North Korea is thought to be in dire economic straits. It closed its borders to contain the spread of COVID-19. Trade with China has plummeted as a result. North Korea relies on China for food, fertilizer, and fuel. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. If you missed any of the stories or need a recap, visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/WEFM99 or our website at www.999wefm.com. Join us again at 5:30 for WEFM's Evening News, and we thank you for listening.